call to order the Lake Mills Plan Commission meeting of June 25, 2019. We'll proceed with roll call.
Ms. Lazaris?
Here.
Mr. Schumacher?
Here.
Mr. Magnuson?
Here.
Mr. Coots?
Here.
Mr. Holman? Mr. Foster?
Here.
Item number 3, correction and or approval of the minutes of May 28, 2019.
I move adoption of the minutes of May 28, 2019. Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the minutes. Any further discussion? In that case, we'll proceed with roll call vote.
Mr. Schumacher?
Aye.
Mr. Magnuson?
Aye.
Mr. Coots?
Aye.
Mr. Foster?
Aye.
Ms. Lazaris?
Aye.
Motion passed 5-0.
Number 4, questions and public comment. Let it be noted that no one is in the audience, and so we will close item number 4 and move on to item number 5, public hearing, conditional use request, Sign Art Studio on behalf of Dr. Angie Olson for the purpose of installing a projecting sign at 117 West Lake Street, parcel 246-0713-1322-081. And so, Mr. Wolf, if you would give an overview of the request and your recommendation.
Sure. Obviously, this is in the downtown. Downtown has some specific sign regulations as it deals with projecting signs, and that is because buildings in the downtown are built right on the edge of the right-of-way line, so on the edge of the sidewalk, which is in the public right-of-way. Any sign that would be projecting out from a building would project over the public right-of-way. So therefore, the sign code requires a conditional use permit for these types of applications. They're very common, obviously, in the downtown. I've seen them many places. In conjunction with the conditional use permit, which expires every 2 years, they need to get a approval for a privilege in the street through the city, and that just specifies that they've met these requirements and that they have insurance and some other odds and ends associated with it. Obviously, a sign projecting over where people walk is a concern. The sign being proposed for Olson Eye Care is very modest, matches the size of many signs around the community. It's about 15 square feet. If you're standing next to it, it would look big when it's up in the air, and this will be 11 odd feet in the air. It won't look that big. It is not illuminated. The findings of fact that we walked through are the same for any conditional use permit. It's just to make sure that I's are dotted and T's are crossed in relation to the code, long-range plans and such. So, is the proposed conditional use in harmony with the policies and standards of the comp plan and other plans adopted by the city? Yes, the comprehensive plan certainly encourages enhancement in the downtown, certainly encourages improvements and signage that are contextual for the time period, which is turn of the century historic downtown, and that the signs not be excessive in total square feet. So it does certainly comply with those requirements. Does the proposed sign result in any adverse impact on adjacent properties, et cetera? No. Again, there are a number of signs, similar signs in the downtown. This process is designed for this very reason, to make sure that we can evaluate an application in relation to all the signs around it. So it certainly does not place any undue burden or adverse impact on adjacent properties. It's a very tasteful sign. Does the conditional use maintain the desired consistency of land uses, et cetera? This does not impact the intensity of the land use whatsoever. Again, the conditional use needs to be adequately served by or not impose undue burden on utilities and community services, et cetera. Know that the signage will not be illuminated, and it will be doesn't require any other infrastructure needs in that regard. And then, do the potential public benefits of the proposed conditional use outweigh any and all adverse impacts? It is staff's opinion that the public benefit certainly outweighs any potential impacts because tasteful sign, respectful of the historic nature of the downtown, similar to other signage that's been approved over the years, enhances visibility of this use from a side street, which would be 89, so when you're looking down the road, if you're a pedestrian especially, you'll be able to see it quite readily. It is staff's recommendation that the Plan Commission approve of this conditional use, of course, subject to them getting the privilege in the street approved, which is just a requirement.
All right, thank you, Mr. Wolf. Let it be noted that no one is present in the audience, though the public hearing is closed. Item number 6, discussion recommendation on conditional use request, Fine Art Studio on behalf of Dr. Angie Olson for the purpose of installing a projecting sign at 117 West Lake Street, parcel 246-0713-1322081. We have before us Lake Mills Plan Commission Motion 1961, Angie Olson, Olson Eye Care, 117 West Lake Street. The motion sets forth the city zoning authority that the city zoning code does contain certain requirements for conditional uses. The conditional use request itself by Dr. Olson for a projecting sign and privilege in the street. Review by city staff, tonight's public hearing, and Plan Commission review. This motion does provide for a Plan Commission recommendation of approval to the City Council, conditioned on requirements that may be outlined in the planner's memo. By such action, the Plan Commission would be confirming the following findings of fact. A, the proposed use will not be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, morals, comfort, or general welfare. B, the use will not be injurious to the use and enjoyment of other property in the immediate vicinity or substantially diminish or impair property values. C, the use will not impede normal and orderly development and improvement of surrounding property. D, there are adequate utilities, access roads, drainage, and other necessary facilities. E, measures for ingress and egress will be designed so as to minimize traffic congestion. F, the use shall in all respects conform to the applicable regulations of the district in which it is located. G, the use is in harmony with the purposes, goals, objectives, policies, and standards of the City of Lake Mills Comprehensive Plan. H, the public benefits, the potential public benefits outweigh any and all potential adverse impacts of the proposed conditional use. Are there any questions of staff, any comments about the requested sign and the privilege in the street? Is there anyone who wishes to make a motion concerning motion 1961?
I would move for passage of Plan Commission Motion 1961, conditional use.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to pass motion 1961 recommending approval of this request. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, then we'll proceed with roll call vote.
Mr. Magnuson?
Aye.
Mr. Coots?
Aye.
Mr. Foster?
Aye.
Ms. Lazaris?
Aye.
Mr. Schumacher?
Aye.
Motion passed 5-0.
Item number 7, recommendations for future agendas. Is there anything we should be aware of under this item?
We may need to bring some things back to tidy up, some stuff with TID 7 from the Department of Revenue. So just some procedural things,
All right,
or it can be certified.
all right.
Pardon?
So those people at the Department of Revenue.
They have new staff people there, and they are interpreting some of the things differently than their predecessors did. And, you know, when you've been working under kind of one set of rules or assumptions, or, yeah, they change some things in the state. And, yeah, just tidy some stuff.
I just said that because that's where I work.
Oh.
Anything else under item number 7? All right. In that case, we go on to item number 8, adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll move to adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We are adjourned.